Welcome back, class. And we are going to continue with the clutch. Let's start off by creating the partial top view, this guy right here. And to do that, we are going to offset this construction line that's flush with the top of the pedal 1 inch. So O, enter, 1, enter. And then we'll offset to the center line of that pedal 1.5 inches. And then again to the edge. All right. If you don't have this construction line here, you're going to want to put that in place. And that guy also belongs on the other side as well, so we can copy one over there and make a new one over there, either way. Okay, so that's the basic outline of our pedal. But it has an arc on this end, and that radius will go to the center, which means it's also 1.5 inches away. So if we offset the right edge over 1.5, that will give us our center mark right there. See what I'm talking about here in a second. So if I click on that center mark and then go to the edge, and then make a square on this end, should be able to trim those out. There you go. So that was just a 3-inch circle, right? And a square here. Okay. I think the next thing to do is make the grooves in the top of the pedal in both views. So if you look on our drawing, let's zoom in on that. See there's a 20 degree angle between them. I'm sorry, 120 degree angle between them. And they are 7/16 of an inch apart at the peaks. So I should be able to offset this construction line 7/16. So that is what I'm typing, 7/16. There it is. So that is the distance between peaks. And then I should be able to run construction lines through these points here. Let's do that. X, L, enter, A, enter. And the angle that is going to be there, you would subtract 60 from 90 to get that. It's 30 on each side. So if it was 30 plus 120 plus another 30, that would add up to 180 degrees, which is a full, you know, from what do they call that? Full half a circle, full half circle. So that will do it for us. I'm going to go to my construction layer and type in X, L, enter, A, enter. And the value, again, is 30 degrees. Coming, and it's going right into the upper intersection point. There it is. Boom. And then the next one, well, it's 120 plus 30, right? So that was 30, and then you got another 120 to get to the other side. So 120 and 30 is 150, and that goes right there. So this construction line was 30 degrees, and this construction line 150. And I should be able to make one valley. There it is. And for each one valley, there are two lines. There's a line on the peak, and there's a line in the valley. Okay. Trim this out. Get rid of that piece. Now, it's my intention to copy the rest of this. So let's see if I can pull this off. I'm going to copy CO, enter, these two lines, the V shape, basically. I'm also going to copy those two lines. Enter. And I'm going to copy it from this endpoint right here, this endpoint. And then if I move to the previous endpoint, I should just be able to knock this out very quickly. There it is. It looks like we got one last little bit there. Okay. I'm going to turn off my construction lines, do some trimming. Oh, it looks like I got a little sloppy over here. I'm going to undo that. Let's try that one more time. You know, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing better here. When I copy these, CO, enter, and I'm going to grab this line and this line, this line and this line. I'm going to do it from the other side now, just for fun, just to show you that you can use either endpoint as your point of copying. So now I'm using the edge of the V. Either way. Did that work better? I think that worked better this time. Okay. And then I can get rid of this line. Oh, let me turn off my construction lines so they're not causing any trouble. Trim this out on both sides, possibly. Whoa. And just delete that one. These guys are going to get trimmed out as well. Looks like I did not have my trim mode on. There you go. And the same thing up here. Okay. Looking good. Turn my construction lines back on. The pedal, it needs the arm. I mean, it has the flat portion of the pedal there, but it needs the arm that supports it, which is mostly hidden lines. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. We'll offset that center line 3/16. 3/16 of an inch on both sides. The amount we extended outward really is not critical. It's, and I'm going to do it as a broken line. I like doing it as broken lines. Turn my nearest snap on to make this a little easier. They did not do it as a broken line. And that is the draftsman's choice. I am. And then the rest of it is going to be hidden lines. Does that meet squarely with the end, or is there a fillet on the end? It is likely that it is rounded on this corner right here, this back corner. And yes, if you look closely, you can see in their top view, they did show a fillet. So of course we will do the same. There's also a fillet where the arm joins the pedal. That looks pretty substantial. I'm curious. So let's try our filleting right now. F enter, R enter. See what happens. I lost the other side of my arc. Control Z. Looks like better to trim that first. Trim that guy out first. That way you won't lose the other side. Let's do that fillet again. Okay. Nice. And then this end got filleted as well. All right, we'll zoom out a little bit. You know, interesting, they are showing with their pedal, yes, that makes sense because the pedal's edge is above the arm. So this arc is going to continue through here. So what that means is I need to make another circle over the top of this one. No big deal. Get in my object layer, go back to that center point and make another circle. And then trim that off. I think to do that, I'm going to put on my construction lines. And, oh, I see, I had deleted it. Let me, I mean, trimmed it. So I'm going to trim the back half of that circle to this construction line, and then delete the rest of it. TR, enter. That might be a little tricky. See if I can get in there. Got that piece and that piece. And let's see if the rest of it deletes. Yep. You might need to zoom in to do that. I probably should have, but okay, that worked out. And in hindsight, I probably would have just duplicated the other side before I'd filleted. But basically, you need a sacrificial piece to fillet, just like we've done so many times. Otherwise, it wipes it all out. As I'm looking at this in here, you may also want to zoom in a little tighter on these endpoints. Oh, just a tiniest little bit sticking out here, but you can fix that. Do it on the other side. Might as well be perfect, right? Okay. Well, that guy's looking pretty good. I think we got the partial top view complete. So let's work on the auxiliary view, the partial auxiliary view. We're going to offset this face, the construction line that made up this face. They recommended 2.5 inches. We'll try it, see what happens. Oh, enter 2.5. See where that gets us. That put us right out over here. I'll turn that into a center line. And of course, we have this center line right here, which we can extend to perpendicular. And that is going to be our center point. And this is a 3-inch circle. So you can just type 1.5 for the radius. And that is the top, I should say, the auxiliary view or the perpendicular view of this puck's face. There it is. Not much to it. I think it's just a smooth, round surface. What does it look like on the back side? So we are going to have to show the arm on the back side of that, just like we did here. What does it look like on this one? Well, there's a couple things we can do. We can go to our construction layer here, and I'm going to make a construction line that goes from where this arm meets the most outer edge of that fillet, and it's perpendicular. Everything's got to be perpendicular. So I'm seeing the perpendicular snap. There it is. Click. So that's as far as the arm goes. And on this side, it goes pretty much all the way to the edge because it fillets into it. So yeah, and then it sticks out beyond it underneath. So it's going to be on this side, it's going to look just like this over here, identical. Okay. So we'll offset this center line again, just like we did the other one, 3/16. On the other one, it was they were construction lines. So let's make that construction lines as well. In fact, let's just make them all construction lines for now. So the object line portion, just like before, is going to be like this. We're going to get this broken out bit here. Just trying to make this look a little broken out. All right. And then the rest of it will continue as hidden lines. And those will also be rounded. Put the fillets on them. And same thing with this. We're gonna actually that is not going to be visible the way it shows. I was going to say that this would have a fill into that one like this one here, but it doesn't attach in that manner because it scoops underneath. That is not going to be the case. I think that'll do it. Are we okay with the placement? These look a little tight. This has a lot of space. We could move that later on if we wanted, but it's looking pretty good now. The reason I have more space down here is I know I got to put dimensions underneath here. And on this one, I don't need to put any dimensions there. So I think we're okay leaving those like that. I think that's going to do it for now. When we come back, we will do the full right side view.